we go. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. It's noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. My name is Jim Tanner. I'm going to be your host today for our Business Solutions Circle Up, where we celebrate everything Legal Shield for full service associates with a specific focus on helping our business community, talking to business owners, working with their employees, protecting and empowering individuals and families and businesses in your community. And so as we get started today, this is our first meeting in November. It's November 6th, and I am just flat out pumped, excited to be here with you. I'm excited that we get to do this together as we are now, really kind of moving deeper into this fourth quarter, because we did week number 1 of the fourth quarter. Now we're week number 2 so we did month number 1 of the fourth quarter. Now we're starting month number 2 of the fourth quarter. And exactly the things that we expected to see happen in October happened. Massive growth and success, new executive directors, folks getting closer to all of their goals. And there's really shows no signs of slowing down. As a matter of fact, as we think about those Dream Builder bonuses, I think we're going to see more of those starting to show up as that 3-month period for executive directors, bronze, silver, gold, platinum. As we see those 3-month periods roll, folks are going to start qualifying for that. We've also seen more people Performance Club qualifying, more people committing to their business in 2 exposures a day. We're seeing success across the board. So I'm not going to talk about all this great stuff that's happening, because we have a formatted schedule here for you. And we're going to start by going down to Houston, Texas, because we've got Jimmy Tao, who stays on top of. Jimmy, I think you would agree. You stay on top of what's going on in small business probably better than anybody else. Jimmy and I got to hang out in Chicago a couple of months ago at the big event, and that was exciting. I'm going to get out of the way, let you have your 5 minutes, because we want you to share with all of us how we can get plugged into these great resources that are happening.
Thank you, Jim. Can I share my screen?
You should be able to, absolutely.
Okay. All right, let me do that. Okay. Can everybody see what I'm sharing?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, as you can see, this is the small business events calendar. And we taught everybody, when it comes to anything that has to do with small business, this is the calendar that you should look at, because it's a lot more accurate and updated than the Legal Shield calendar. All right, just very quickly, every week, from Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m., we have a small business small business membership overview. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, it is at 2 p.m. Central. Thursdays is slightly different. That's membership overview is at 10 a.m. Central on the Thursday morning. As far as the opportunity overview, we have it pretty much 6 days a week. Monday through Friday, it's at 11 a.m. Central. And this is hosted by James Worthy, who is one of the Small Business Council members, or one of his team members. So somebody will do the presentation. And basically, when it comes to the opportunity, we cover the small business membership, the HBS, the personal legal plan, ID Shield, and we also speak about the opportunity to become an associate and earn additional income with us. So that takes place every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central. On Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Central, we have the same opportunity overview, and that is conducted by Johnny Jones. And the same thing on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central, except on the Saturdays where we have the small business masterclass, because whenever Melissa does a masterclass, that bumps the opportunity overview. Also, currently we are doing 2 small business trainings a month, on the second Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m. Central, and the last Tuesday of the month, also from 5 to 7. Currently, we are on the second Tuesday it's more geared towards the product. So if you need a refresher on the product, or if you have a new associate that needs to learn about a small business product, that is the best place to plug in. The last Tuesday, it's more overall how to become an effective the small business associate, and it focuses all different aspects of it, not just the product. The second Thursday of each month, which is actually this coming Thursday, James Worthy does an advanced technology training. He spends a lot of time training on Prospect by the PPLSI. So if you have any questions or challenges using Prospect, James, I have learned so much about little tips and tricks with Prospect I did not even know was available. On Fridays at 11 a.m. Central, we have a Facebook Live. And basically that takes place on the PPLSI Associate Small Business / small group Facebook page. And for 30 minutes, you can get on there and ask questions that's related to small business. If you have a challenge with speaking with a small business owner, or they give you an objection and use or just any other questions you have that's related to small business, that is the place to ask for it. At 2 p.m. on Friday, we have the Small Business Sellers Fast Start. And this is slightly different from the regular Fast Start because we put more emphasis on the small business product. So if you are, if you want to focus or lead with the small business plan, or you have an associate that wishes to do that, that is the Fast Start training to plug into. Now, by attending the Small Business Fast Start, the new associate also is able to qualify to receive their Fast Start bonus. They'll meet the requirements. So they can either take the regular Fast Start or the Small Business Fast Start. And I believe that's pretty much, I almost forgot. On Wednesday from 12 noon to 1:30 p.m. Central, we have what is called Smiling and Dialing. It is a little bit different from this Blitz that Mike Rich is the host on Tuesdays. The main difference is with a Smiling and Dialing, the first 30 minutes is the training and coaching. Then for the next 30 minutes is when IPA, when you pick up the phone or text or whatever, however you communicate with the small business owner. And the focus is on quality of the appointment rather than quantity. So I know like on the Tuesday Blitz, you hear people making 30, 40, 50, 60 or more calls. On the Smiling and Dialing, even if you make just one call to a small business owner, we applaud you and cheer you for that. And of course, the last 30 minutes is coaching and a review and just Q&A. And also, unlike the Tuesday Blitz, you do that on Zoom, and you can either keep your camera on or off. And part of the reason we do it that way is that if you are having if you have some trouble making a call to the small business owner, or if they ask you a question you don't know how to answer, you could very quickly put in the chat what the issue is, and the Small Business Council member who's hosting that day will help you out. All right, that is it. Back to you, Jim.
Jimmy, thank you very much for laying all that out for us. And you can just go ahead and end your screen share when you get a second. But let me just kind of bookend that. So what Jimmy's telling you is you can be brand new. You don't know how to do the presentation. No problem. You can invite business owners to sit in on a presentation done by someone who's not new. That's done the presentation hundreds, if not thousands of times. Maybe you want to recruit somebody using business solutions or the small business plan as the angle to expand their mind about what Legal Shield is. You've got recruiting opportunities. I mean, that calendar is just chock full of the information you need to win. So I really appreciate you going over that and making sure that we all know that this is available to us. Now, I've got a special treat for you. Many of you know that I spent the weekend in Vancouver, British Columbia, and because I've been talking about it, in the weeks leading up to it. Well, I just had this wonderful time, and I'm not gonna tell a long story because I'm capable of it, but I'll just say that as part of the weekend's events, we did a luncheon for professionals in that marketplace, and it was just so well done. And now I'm not saying I was stunned that this could be well done, but it was done in a way I hadn't seen before. It was effective. It was executed to perfection. The tone and the demeanor of the environment was perfect for what we were doing. So I said, listen, there's no way I can come back and describe to you what went on. All I could do is tell you the people I spoke in front of, but I want you to know what happened, because I believe that this is something that many of you could do incredibly well in your market. So I hope you have a pen and paper ready, because I didn't just get one or two. I got all three of the people that organized that big event to come and share thoughts with you today. So I'm going to start with Patricia LaPena, who's our vice president over that marketplace that whether she knew what she was getting or not, invited me to come out, and I had me out. And Patricia, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and then also the folks that you worked with so spectacularly, and that I had such a joy hanging out with you. So let's all hear it in the chat. Congratulations to you for all your success, Patricia, and thanks for having me in. We'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. And we are so thrilled that you are in our marketplace. You gave us more than we even thought that we were going to get. Mary and I were just talking last night about your passion, your delivery, and what you gave to us. But so thank you very much for being here. We are stronger and better because of that. So thank you. So my background for everybody here. Hello, good morning. It's morning for us here in BC. I've been in Legal Shield for 13 years, and my business, when I first started, actually, I really came out of the gate doing a lot of business solutions, just walking my marketplace, and we just fell into that part of the business. But for most of my career here, it's been on the network side. Being a vice president now, it's, organizing events that are network specific. So, just in knowing my team really well, and I'm so excited that you get to spend a minute with Mary and Billy here, because we are such a solid team. We work so well together. And when the conversation started to shift to be this full service associate, I was super excited because I'm already on the Ruby side. That was my background. So it was easy for me to now say, hey, we can blend all this. This is wonderful. But going back to the team, so how are we going to do this? I think that, being the three of us here, we were so good and seamless, plan, do, and review for our Super Saturdays. We have that down to a science almost. We're still making tweaks, but the vision of how our marketplace could grow under the umbrella of the full service associate. So sharing it with them, getting, as Mary calls it, the buy-in, because it was not the conversation we were having with everyone. But I am so blessed, I want to say, because of the strengths that we have with our leadership here in the marketplace. We went to work, we got down, and so what I think my role, bringing it to the table with us here in BC, was really to be intentional that we are choosing. And I work with Amy Fielding, for those of you who know or maybe not know her. She is the leadership at corporate, but helps to figure out who's coming to your marketplace for Super Saturday. So we really wanted to have somebody that could come to our marketplace that could actually provide both sides, to maybe do these luncheons that are a little bit different than what we've been doing before. Because any small business luncheons we were doing, we specifically were only talking about the small business plan, not incorporating really the benefits overview, decision makers. So we were excited to get started. We started a few months back, but I think the first thing we wanted to do was actually have that guest speaker show up on a Zoom a week before, maybe a couple weeks before, and we get to have a bit of a conversation, get to know them. Jim came on the Zoom with us a week and a half early, but it's that conversation for anybody who's interested in the marketplace to look at this part of our business with Legal Shield. Let's meet the guest speaker so you know who you're inviting your guests to. Get to know him a little bit. Most people didn't know who Jim was, including the three of us. Well, maybe Billy did, being online and everything, but so that was important to us. Who are we inviting our guests to? But who are we inviting and how are we inviting? That's different to what we've been already doing. So I think getting back to live events, it's really important that we have a little bit more engagement. So just really blessed again to have my rock solid team, Mary Pichette, Billy Sinclair. They're the regional managers in our marketplace. Mary's a little bit more on the network side. Billy's maybe a little bit more on the business solutions side. But when we come together in a complete cohesive way, because we have our strengths, and it's just so really cool. And we get excited because we bring it to the table, we hash it out, and then we all go away and we use our strengths on how we pull it together. So with that, I'm going to move it over to Mary, because when we have our regional manager leadership meetings, it's Mary that takes it and runs with it immediately. So Mary's strength, and again, I'm going to use the word again, I'm blessed to have such strong leadership in our marketplace. But Mary Pichette, take it away.
Oh,
You're muted, Mary.
oh, you missed my joke. All right, we're on the same side of the earth, which means we're in somewhat the same time zone, and therefore, good morning. Good morning, everyone. And yeah, I'm what you might call the detail gal, although I think marketing, which is Billy's specialty, requires a lot of attention to detail as well. So emphasizing what Patricia said, it's two parts. It's coming in with a part to play, knowing our strengths. So, you know, if I know that I can do this well, then why don't I run with that? And, you know, I'm not going to run with marketing. I'm just going to phone Billy and say, I don't know how to do this. So it's understanding those strengths. And the first thing, so once Patricia has the buy-in, she brought us the vision, and then needed to get the two of us to buy in. And then we go back to our teams in the marketplace early on. It's almost in that. And then Jim comes in or the guest. And that's a real highlight for the team, because they're out there thinking, what am I going to do? Who is this person? And we get launched. Then I've got to answer the questions, and I'll give you some of this. It's sort of logistics specific. Where will the owners come from? So it's very intentional. And that's one thing we have to ask right off the bat, because where they are going to come from means the location has to be set according to that. Linked with where do they come from, we start to identify the active associates. Who's likely to bring guests? Who do we see often in rooms? Who has the connections? Now, once we've got that sense, then we've got to go to a place. Now, we happen to have 5 cities around us, all quite large. Most of them are in Surrey. So we've been targeting places to go in Surrey, which ideally, again, are people going to come? Will owners drive an hour, or will they drive 20 minutes? So these become very specific when you go looking for a place. So in looking for a place, one of the things we've discovered, as everyone has, prices in renting space didn't double, triple, or quadruple. They are 5 times what they were before COVID, if not more. I was getting spaces before COVID, and I've just been, as probably all of you have been, rather shocked, for lack of a better word, at how expensive it is. Why does expense matter? Well, I'm going to use something that your incredible leader, Mr. Tanner, really brought home to us, and that is, if it's not duplicatable, why do it? If the success of this event rests because Mary can find a space, or Billy can talk on online, or Patricia can communicate vision, and that's it, we don't go anywhere. It's not duplicatable. But neither is it duplicatable if you cannot afford it. If we're asking associates to come in and buy lunch for their guests, and they're buying $3.30, $40 luncheons, we're in over $100. That's not duplicatable in this day and age, ladies and gentlemen. And that's definitely not going to keep your newer people in. because they're being asked to spend more than the business is even offering them. So affordability becomes quite the highest criteria based on those considerations. The next things, they're smaller, but they're equally important, is a closed room. We discovered, having had an open room, that it can be very noisy and distracting because we're doing a presentation, screen, AV, and then parking. So these are just things you want to look at. Now, we discovered along the way with our Super Saturdays that libraries are very affordable and very good. So we said, okay, let's try the library. Then we came up collectively with the idea, let's have lunch in the library. We had one caveat, and that was we could not bring a catered lunch in. So we got it catered and put it in a wagon and brought it up. Why do I mention that? Because practicality also has a part. Once we've got a place, it's affordable. We've looked at our budget parameters. Would associates buy in at $20 each or thereabouts? And it was. Then we need to look at coming into the room and having the etiquette of the room set. There's a couple of things there. Bringing our teams in. Our teams also have a variety of strengths. We need to know them and what they do. I have some members on my team, not to the exclusion of others, but that have done events. And then they hold me accountable to make sure if we're having business owners, it's classy. I think Jim said that. It's like, wow. So one of our team members went off and got white tablecloths, saying, you don't do a business luncheon without tablecloths. Well, you can wash the tables. I share that with you because it's just a little flavor of how exciting it is and how we've come together. I'm running out of time. So in the etiquette of it, we put the tablecloths together. We have meeting coordinators, both of them each took a part. One sets up the room, the other sets up the food. So again, using the resources around you. And then the day arrives and we follow the etiquette that Mr. Tanner gave us, but notably, no legal shield name tags. Introduce yourself to everyone according to the business that you're in. I'll hand it over to my colleague and friend, Mrs. Billy Sinclair, and she'll let you know how we do actually get the owners in the place.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Patricia. And of course, thank you, Jim, for the invitation and for spending the weekend with us, which was very impactful. So just following along on something that Jim started with, you did mention the professional sellers. So I feel like every opportunity that we can get to get our people in great environments like this, I really do take advantage of that. So not everyone that I brought into that room was a decision maker. I invited 4 teammates who paid for their own tickets and 4 guests whose tickets I paid for. And I mention that because of what Mary said. We do have to be conscious of whether that many guests by one person would be duplicatable, and maybe it's not. But at least we have the opportunity because we were able to keep this event down to $20 per person. So all of our, like the people that I tend to attract, and this is another thing that goes really back to what Patricia said, having a team like us with different strengths, and not only that, but different communities that we sort of run in. The community that I run in tends to be business professionals, but a lot of them are solopreneurs. And so I have tended to invite my solopreneur community to look at adding Legal Shield to their portfolio. So when they come into the business and when we invite them to events like this, it just expands their mind so that they can look at the duplication of solutions, which is really what we really love about the whole concept of solutions. It's just it's part of that dream building, which Jim again talked a lot about this weekend. If you can sell 1 or 2 memberships, that's great. What if you could sell 10 or 15 in one go? Isn't that one of the things that we all want to do, is contribute to our families? So because the people that I talk to are that way inclined, they're very eager to come out and learn more. And they're not going to see that so much on a Super Saturday. So inviting them to a Friday luncheon has really, really worked. And just going back to what both of these 2 ladies have alluded to, I meet everyone online. So I came to Legal Shield with a social media background and a social media following, which has only grown by leaps and bounds, not only just because of COVID, but just because of the time and consistency. If you're online enough and people start to see you enough, you can be in a coffee shop in the middle of town and someone will say, "Oh, aren't you Billy Sinclair?" So, visibility is my big thing. I want to have visibility for me, but I also want it for my marketplace. So I have a real commitment to combining online and offline marketing. And so that's relationship building. And so when I meet someone who is offline, I invite them online. When I meet someone online, I invite them offline. So I've been running networking events before the Ladies of Justice, but of course the Ladies of Justice really elevated that for me. I began to run networking events every week. And consequently, that's given me, I think I did the math, about 2,000 leads of people, women in my group, they're women, that I can then invite to come to other events. And if I see that it's pertinent for them to attend this event, of course, it makes for a perfect guest. And I just want to acknowledge something that both of our ladies have shared earlier. What a great team we are, how important it is that we have this talent base. We're so fortunate to be able to rely on each other because we really do have different talents that we bring to these meetings and to the marketplace and to what we offer our teammates in the marketplace so that they can come out and take advantage of really what we do, what we provide for them, which is another opportunity to help them grow. So yes, the three of us, we want our businesses to grow, but we also have people that attend from throughout the marketplace because we want to contribute to them too, of course, as NVP and as RMs. So that's, I guess, what I wanted to share. Want to turn it back over either to Patricia, maybe Patricia, you can turn it back over to Jim.
I just want to say one thing. Can you not see why I'm so proud to work with these two ladies? Like we really work well together. And I do think that in your marketplace and your team, just getting a couple people together to brainstorm and putting this together and just maybe having a checklist like we have to look at the details. So you don't need all the components, but a little bit to pull it off. And I think that's great. Thank you so much, Mr. Tanner. Jim, thank you for being in our marketplace and thanks for the opportunity to share today.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate you coming here with me. And let's see, now I've got the awkward task of trying to figure out how to get everybody's face off of the screen, but I'll just leave it because we're wrapping up anyway. And I'll say this, that we, in that event, in that presentation, there's never a hard close. It's not like a briefing where it's like, now get back with the person that brought you here and we're just going to pound you into dust until you sign up. That's not what we did. We knew that this was an event that was going to create further conversations, decision maker meetings at another time. But what it also did, somebody's helping me with that. Thank you. What it also did is that it allowed us a chance to meet some business owners that were not necessarily the business owners that you might be picturing. Like there was a lot of solopreneur business owners that were the kind of people that would be perfect as part of our mission. So there is an opportunity to meet people, to bring them into an environment like this where they don't hear anything about recruiting, they don't hear anything about the opportunity, but they hear about a half-century-old company started for the right reasons. They hear about the $2 billion success story. They hear about thousands of attorneys ready to take care of our members at 24/7. They hear about the technology that makes what we do so easy for our members to access. They hear about where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. And that creates an opportunity for you to have a conversation with those individuals that are doing what is typically a much more difficult road in entrepreneurship, where everything is on them, where they have to come up with the money and they have to come up with the mentors, where they have to come up with the answers and they don't have anybody else to help them. But we obviously we have something unique and special when it comes to business ownership. We have something unique and special when it comes to the communities we serve. And so all of that good, positive stuff gets to come out. All right. It is the bottom of the hour. It's the end of this Zoom, but it's the beginning of the day. Isn't that fun? It's the beginning of the week, and it's still the beginning of the month. And we have so much open ocean in front of us to do good with. And I appreciate y'all, Jimmy Ta, Mary, Billy, and Patricia for coming on and speaking, sharing with everybody today. I'll get the recording of this up on YouTube as fast as possible. And I'm really excited to see what you all do with the hours you have in front of you to impact every corner of your community, from coast to coast and border to border, and yeah, from sea to shining sea. Good day, everybody.